I've been using the Galaxy Fold 3 as my daily driver for roughly the last 6 months. This is actually the first folding phone that I've ever used, and how I feel about it today versus how I felt about it before I put my SIM card in it is very different. Now, while the benefit of having a phone that unfolds into a tablet was always obvious to me, like a lot of people, there were certain things about the phone initially that I thought might be deal breakers. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to get past the crease. I was worried about the phone's durability. The cover screen seemed a little bit too narrow. I was worried about how thick and heavy it was gonna be. And the battery and the camera were obviously a step back. But let me tell you this, after using the phone every day for the last 6 months, a lot of those initial concerns that you hear all over the internet are overblown. And really, there's just one thing that I really don't like about this phone, and it's none of the things that anybody mentions. But before we talk about that one thing, we gotta put some perspective behind the so-called deal breakers, because I'm just tired of hearing about them from people who have never actually used the phone. So deal breaker number one that you hear all the time is the crease. And I get it, it looks bad on video, and it looks bad under all the bright lights at Best Buy. But here's the thing, in everyday use, you kind of stop noticing it. It's only when you're looking at a phone from an angle that you really see the crease. This is usually what happens when people are first checking the phone out. And after doing so, the conclusion is, oh man, the crease is horrible. But that's not how you actually hold the phone in normal use. You're holding it wrong. When you look at it straight on, the crease is almost not visible. I feel like the crease is basically the new notch. It's one of those things that everybody loves to hate on, but after using it for a while, especially on the Fold where your fingers rarely move across the crease, you kind of just forget about it. Now, the second thing that people bring up is, okay, well, the phone looks cool, but I feel like it's gonna break. Well, if you've seen our drop test with this phone, you know that it's built like a tank. In fact, I'd go as far as saying that the Fold 3 might actually be more durable than other phones due to the metal strips on the outside of the hinge and the raised lip on the main screen. Obviously, when it comes to dirt though, well, that's a separate issue because this phone doesn't have that dust rating, so it's not necessarily rugged by any means, but man, in regular use, it holds up. I've been using and abusing this thing, doing stupid things like this just to kind of put the phone through its paces. Ooh, it's a hot day today. Woo! And the hinge is as good today as it was on day one. In fact, the only real knock I have on durability, if you could even call it that, is with the screen protector, which it seems like this affects pretty much everyone. It starts peeling after a while. I've kept the screen protector on for the sake of this video just so I could show you guys, and it's been driving me nuts. But once you take it off, the problem goes away. You can replace the screen protector, you can leave it as is. So it's really not the biggest deal in the world. Now, the third impression people have, especially if they hold it for a quick second, is, whoa, this is heavy. And this one's true, okay? The phone is pretty heavy. You definitely don't want to drop this on your face while you're lying in bed, but it's not as bad as most people think because, while one of the things I really didn't like about the phone was how narrow this cover screen was, it turns out Samsung knew what they were doing because by having the phone be this narrow, it makes it a lot easier to grip with one hand. So while this phone weighs more than something like the iPhone 13 Pro Max, it actually feels more comfortable to hold in the hand. And then when you open it up, well, at that point, it becomes a two-handed phone, so you can divide the weight by two. And unlike a traditional candy bar phone, your hands are better spaced out. So again, it just makes it a little bit more comfortable to hold than something like the iPhone. Okay, so fourth big knock on the phone is the battery and the camera. And yeah, the Fold isn't the best in class in either of these areas. And that's a tough pill to swallow when you're paying such a premium. At least with a camera, I don't think Samsung could have included the S21 Ultra's camera system since it probably would have driven the price up higher than it already is. But outside of a few conditions, for the most part, the camera is fine. It's not the best camera in the world, but I've also been able to get some really good looking shots out of it. Now, in terms of the battery, well, that just depends on how you use your phone. You can check out our rankings on our website to get an idea of how this phone stacks up with the one that you currently have if we've already tested it. But for me, the battery has been more than enough. I end most days with around 15% of battery left with an average of 4 hours of screen time. So while your mileage may vary, for me, the battery hasn't been an issue. It doesn't inspire the most confidence, right, since I do drop into low power mode every day, but at the same time, in the last 6 months, it's never actually died on me. Now, out of all of those so-called deal breakers, none of them have really made me want to give up the big screen and go back to something like an iPhone. But there is one thing that might actually get me to switch off of this phone, one thing I really don't like about it, and that is the keyboard. To put it simply, I have never made more typos on any phone in the last 10 years than I have on the Fold 3. The cover screen is just too narrow to type on reliably. I'm not a fan of gestures, and the main screen is just too wide. I feel like I'm Goldilocks or something, but I've tried a number of different keyboards on here, and I just can't get back to my normal typing speed without sacrificing accuracy. I type a lot on the phone, I take notes, I sometimes type out video scripts, so maybe it's a bigger deal to me than it would be to you, but we're talking about one of the main ways we interface with a phone. So if I end up switching off, it'll be because of the keyboard. Now, the good news though, is while the input on the phone is poor, the output on this main screen is second to none. Having it has been an absolute game changer. Being able to browse the full desktop version of websites has led me to stop using my iPad completely. In fact, I sold it like after a month of switching to this phone. And watching videos on here, well, let's just say your screen time is gonna go up. So a lot of the battery complaints, it's because you're using your phone more. And then there's also just something special about being able to load up a PDF like a restaurant menu without having to scroll around every 2 seconds. I'm not saying the Fold 3 is a perfect phone by any means. I think the iPhone 13 Pro right now is probably the closest thing to being a perfect phone. But while the Fold 3 isn't perfect, what it's really good at still makes it worth it, at least to me. Anyways, that is it for me in this video. Thank you for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the very next episode.